120 acres for a single silver dollar. That headline could sell papers for weeks. Caleb Monroe presses the coin into Jed Turner's palm at high noon, ink still wet on the deed, and the whole land office hushes like someone just gambled with the devil and won. Caleb pockets the brittle parchment, spots of dust drifting through sunbeams, and heads south toward the forgotten ranch that's supposed to change his life. The property greets him like a prayer long unanswered. A weather-grade gate swinging on one hinge, fences staggering toward the horizon, a two-story house crouched beneath the prairie sun. He pushes through knee-high grass, boots crunching, and tests the front door. It groans open, coughing years of stale air into his face. Silence until it isn't. Above the cracked plaster ceiling comes the hush-hush of deliberate footsteps, too light for a trespassing coyote, too measured for wind. Caleb freezes, one hand still on the brass handle, pulse hammering. Jed swore this place had been empty since Cleveland sat the White House. Liar, Caleb thinks, climbing the first stair. Halfway up, a shadow slips across the landing. Then she steps into the dim afternoon light. Lily Hart, hair unbound, dress faded to the color of dry sage. No scream, no pistol, only a calm that feels like thunder waiting to split the sky. "You must be the new owner," she says, voice steady as fence posts. "I've been keeping this place standing." "Keeping it for who?" Caleb asks, scanning her face for the slightest tick of deceit. He finds none, only weary resolve. "Some men think the land, and what's buried beyond its north ridge, belongs to them," she answers. "They'll come looking." Caleb's throat tightens. He saved 5 years to buy peace, not war. Yet the determination in Lily's eyes feels older than the hills. Outside, a rifle cracks in the distant draw. Caleb and Lily pivot to the window. Dust spirals on the ridgeline. 3 riders, approaching fast but not fast enough to be friendly. The silver dollar in Caleb's pocket suddenly weighs 1,000 pounds. Dust billows off the northern ridge, like smoke from an unseen fire. Caleb lifts Jed's old spyglass and fixes on 3 silhouettes cresting the rise. Victor Harlan in a black duster, flanked by Colin Mason, rifles slung casual as gossip. They move with the confidence of men who've already decided how this day ends. Caleb snaps the shutters closed. "Friends of yours?" "Worse," Lily answers, tucking a loose strand behind her ear. "Harlan's on the Grayson payroll. If he's here, the brothers think I still have the deed." She kneels by the hearth, pries up a warped floorboard, and pulls a leather tube wrapped in oilcloth. Unfurling it, she reveals survey grids, vein markings, her father's precise cursive. Gold enough to ransom a kingdom. Caleb's breath catches. This alone could buy every acre west of Abilene. "And sign my death warrant," Lily says. She rolls it tight, ties the string with fingers that don't shake. "I hid it once. I can bury it deeper." Hoofbeats drum the yard. The front gate clangs. Caleb shoulders his Winchester but keeps the barrel low. Harlan dismounts, spurs jingling, voice lazy as creek water. "Miss Hart, we've come for what's ours, and whoever's harboring you." Caleb steps onto the porch. "Afternoon." "You're trespassing." Harlan grins wolf sharp. "Just retrieving company property. Step aside and nobody eats lead." Behind him, Cole fans out left, Mason right, triangulating like seasoned predators. Lily stands inside the doorway, shadowed, clutching the map tube to her chest. Harlan lifts his pocket watch. 10 seconds, rancher. After that, this place goes up like tinder." Caleb meets Lily's eyes, storm gray, unblinking. 5 years of dreams weigh against one undeniable truth. Peace without principle is nothing. He chambers around. "Time's up," Harlan says at 3. "Then start counting what you'll lose," Caleb replies. A beat of silence, just wind through brittle grass, before Lily darts for the cellar hatch. Floorboard thuds echo beneath the standoff, each one a hammer strike driving tension deeper. Harlan's smile flickers. He smells defiance, and it tastes like blood. The prairie holds its breath. Harlan's countdown stalls at 2 when a distant thunder of hooves rolls in from the east. Hard, discipline, too many for backup guns. Dust blooms copper against the sky as 6 riders burst into view, tin stars winking on their vests. Sheriff Miles Donnelly rides point. lean frame straight as fence post, Spencer rifle balanced across his saddle horn. "Victor Harlan!" Donnelly's voice slices the heat. "By order of Judge Sinclair, you're under arrest for murder, fraud, and conspiracy to defraud the United States Mining Office." Harlan's grin curdles. He angles his Colt toward the newcomers, but his eyes flick back to Caleb, calculating odds that just shifted against him. Cole and Mason freeze mid-flank, unsure whether to draw or surrender. Caleb keeps his Winchester level, pulse drumming in his ears. One wrong twitch could light the whole ridgeline on fire. Donnelly halts 15 yards out, deputies fanning left and right, repeating steel on leather as they level carbines. Noon sun glints off badges, gun barrels, and sweat beads. The air feels brittle, ready to shatter. "Sheriff," Caleb calls, "this man's trespassing. He wants papers that aren't his." "Not want, need," Harlan snarls. "Grayson Brothers own every vein on that map." A deputy tosses a folded sheet toward the porch. Caleb snatches it. Sworn affidavit from Hank Rivers, eyewitness to the cave-in that killed Lily's father. Names Harlan, Cole, Mason as saboteurs. A legal blade sharper than any gun. Lily steps from the doorway, map tube visible beneath her jacket. The deputy's presence gives her courage, but her voice trembles. "That affidavit plus my survey proves the Graysons forged their claim." Donnelly nods. "Hand it over, Miss Hart, and I'll guarantee safe passage to the territorial court." Harlan sees leverage slipping like water through cracked earth. In one fluid motion, he grabs Caleb, cold barrel pressing behind Caleb's ear. "Nobody moves," he barks, sweat carving lines through trail dust. "Bring me that tube or your new hero here won't see sundown." Silence stretches taut as fence wire. Gunmetal kisses Caleb's skin, and the wind dies, waiting to see who flinches first. The world narrows to Caleb's ragged breathing and the cold ring of Harlan's revolver. Deputies tense, thumbs grazing hammers. Sheriff Donnelly holds up a calming palm, but his gaze telegraphs a single truth. He can't save everyone. Lily steps off the porch, hands raised, tube visible. Evening light backlights her like stained glass. "Let him go, Victor. I'll ride with you. No fight, no law. The papers are yours." Caleb's heart kicks against his ribs. "Don't," he grits, the muzzle digging deeper. "He'll kill you once he's clear." "Maybe," she answers, soft but steady. "But he won't kill you too." Her courage rattles Harlan more than any rifle. Sweat slips down his temple. "Toss it here," he orders. She loosens the leather thong, but instead of throwing it, she pivots and hurls the tube hard toward the stock trough. Wood cracks, water geysers, map submerged. Harlan jerks. The gun muzzle wavers an inch. That inch is all Caleb needs. He drives his elbow backward, clipping Harlan's ribs, drops to a knee as the Colt roars. The shot slices Caleb's hat brim, splinters porch rail. Deputies fire. A staccato of Spencer rifles. Cole dives for cover. Mason bolts for his horse. Harlan staggers, clutching a chest blooming crimson, disbelief etched on his face. Caleb rolls, shoulders the Winchester, but the fight is already over. Harlan collapses in the dust, revolver thudding beside him. Echoes ricochet across the prairie, then fade to the faint hiss of wind through buffalo grass. Donnelly advances, boots crunching glassy dirt. "Secure the weapons," he orders, voice gravel low. Deputies disarm Cole, drag Mason from his saddle. Caleb rises, ribs screaming, and meets Lily's eyes. Gold evening light paints her hair copper, her dress ember red where stray water darkens the fabric. She's shaking, but not from fear, from sheer adrenaline-spent relief. He bends, fishes the soaked map tube from the trough. "Ink's smudged," he says, forcing a grin, "but justice can read between blurred lines." Lily exhales a shaky laugh. Behind them the sun sinks, bleeding violet into the horizon. Smoke of gunfire curling upward like prayers finally spoken aloud. Night slides over the plains like a velvet curtain stitched with first stars. Lanterns flare along the porch while deputies finish their paperwork, rifles stacked, prisoners bound. Sheriff Donnelly signs a final sheet, then looks to Lily. "Stage leaves at dawn," he says. "I'll ride beside you all the way to Carson City. Judge Sinclair's court will make those maps speak." Lily nods, exhaustion smudging the edges of her resolve. Caleb catches her elbow as she sways. You'll testify, he tells her, voice gentler than his calloused hands suggest, and I'll keep the ranch standing till you're back. He means it more than he's ever meant anything. Donnelly tips his hat. And Monroe, keep that deed close. Grayson money travels far. With that warning, he mounts and guides his posse into the purple dusk, their silhouettes shrinking against the lantern glow. Silence settles, vast and clean. Lily slips the Water Streak survey into a tin box, latches it. Funny, she whispers. All that gold buried in the hills, yet this porch feels richer. Caleb chuckles, rolling fresh planks into a stack. Hard to rebuild on rot. Thought I'd start with new boards. Figure the place deserves a sound front step. She kneels beside him, sleeves rolled, fingers steady as if stitching a quilt. Together they pry away warped timber, nails squealing out of aged black wood. Each hammer strike rings like a promise, not just to mend a house but to anchor a life. Wind carries sage and distant coyote cries. Somewhere beyond the ridges, railroad whistles moan, reminder that the world still turns, and danger might ride the rails again. Caleb pauses, wiping sweat. Ranch is a mighty big word for two people, he says. Lily meets his gaze, ember light dancing in her eyes. Then we'll grow into it. One fence post, one sunrise at a time. They set the new board, nail it true. Lantern shadow flickers across their joined hands. No longer fugitive and stranger, but partners staking ground against the dark. Above constellations bright as silver dollars watch over them, and the dollar that started it all feels suddenly priceless.